Today we're going to talk about investing in mobile gaming markets with the lovely speakers of today. I would like to ask them to introduce themselves first, then we can move on the topic. If you can start with this one. You can just press it. Hardly. Yeah, there it is. No, there you go. Almost there.
Yeah, now it's working. Hello, everybody, and most of the online audience, I guess. My name is Ismet. I'm the general partner of Ludus Ventures. So, like, short story, Ludus is a early-stage gaming dedicated VC founded early 2021. We are investing pre-seed, seed, and Series A. Our initial fund size is 30 mil, and we have like additional 20 mil more. So right now our asset under management is approximately 50 mil. So yeah, again, we are an early-stage gaming investor, and I'm general partner of the fund.
Thank you for joining us. Please, Saltukhan.
Yeah, hello everyone again. I'm Saltukhan from the WePlay Ventures. WePlay Ventures established in 2020. We just focus invest in the gaming studios and PC, console, mobile, and multi-platform developer studios. Everything's okay for us also. And our ticket size between 100K and 500K right now. And right now we have 15 portfolio companies. And we are continuing to our investment.
That's cool. Gurcan?
I'm Gurcan. I'm the partner of Finahukuk. We focus on. I'm Gurcan. I'm the partner of Finahukuk. We focus on gaming companies.
Gurcan, hold on for a second. Wait, maybe you can change the microphones. We can take it off. I can take it to make it off.
Thank you.
We can move forward.
We specialized government incentives, especially mobile and gaming companies. We try to help to reach the government incentives for this company. Especially, we focused on the grade of ministry incentives. It includes monetization and advertising costs. And so we have now been working more than 60 gaming companies in Turkey. I hope I help to share the information to you.
Thank you so much. I'm Mümtaz, by the way, the managing partner of Vircon Legal. We are working on the gaming industry as a law firm. We're working with a couple of Web3 companies, including the Sandbox. So I would like to re-welcome everyone to the panel. And how was 2022, Ismet, for Ludus and you? It was quite a year.
100%. So actually, it's not bad, like everybody said. So, of course, there are like force majeure, right? But as a VC, you always need to look that short-term events as a temporary things. Because if you look at an average VC, we have like on average 5-year investment, 5-year management years. So you're talking about like 10-year period of time, and we are talking about only 1-year accident. So yeah, something happened. The markets is a little bit recessive. The indicators are not that good compared to last year, but as a VC fund, we're still optimistic. So what happened, right? And how was the year? First, I would say there's a massive, I would say, clearance on blockchain side, because if you look like 1-year period of time, it starts getting too cozy, too crowded, and you never know what's the actual purpose of that project. So from an investor point of view, all of these are actually clean. So it's a both negative and positive thing. And also what happened is markets are not as good as compared to last year. So if you look at the valuations, exit multipliers, M&A, IPOs, you would see the multiplier, EBITDA, revenue, whatever indicator you look, it's less than last year. So it's a temporary like negative thing. So consider this like all mixture of these pillars. As a VC, you need to adapt. So that's why it's a little bit slow year compared to last year. But again, I won't say it's bad. I just say you need to be adaptive about it.
Was it completely a wait and see year for you, or just you did some flows in this year?
We did. Actually, we have closed 4 investments this year versus 10 investment last year. So we definitely slowed down, but we're still investing. So, but I'll tell you why. So if you look the market, right? So last year, if you looked at M&A, IPOs, the companies are actually valued 10x compared to revenue. If you look this year, they are valued 4x, 3x versus their revenue, which means that it's like a chain. the M&A exit multiplier decrease, so you need to invest with a less valuation. So that's why we slow, because as a VC, you're expecting things to settle down. So that's why it's a little bit slower, what I can say.
Makes total sense. Thank you so much for your comments. How was this year for you and WePlay Ventures?
It has been really good and productive, actually, because we increase our total number of investments to 15 right now. And also we made one exit, so it's really productive. Probably just in this year we have a 4 investment right now, and generally our focus a little bit PC, console, and web-based games right now, because the hyper casual and the mobile market situation, it's going a little bit down. So we changed a little bit different our focus right now, especially in this year. We closely follow the developments in the hyper casual. Because especially 4 or 5 months ago, some big publishers dropped their exclusive deals with many hyper casual studios. So right now, a lot of hyper casual studios have a serious cash problem. And also they change their focus from to hyper casual to hybrid casual, mid-core, and core games. Also web-based games. So right now we watch this situation actually, because in this bad situation become to be opportunity actually. So right now we are focused something like that actually.
There were quite panels in today. They were like all changed into hybrid casual, as you mentioned. So you're more like seeing an opportunity in that place, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because the users, I think, want to be a little bit more complicated games right now, because the hyper casual is so simple games, and I think the users is a little bit bored about this. So also metrics, if the studios can't find the good metrics right now. Also, when the iOS 14 update, it's a really big another problem for the gaming studios and the hyper casual part. So I think it can be good opportunity for the other genres.
We can a little bit deep dive for your exit. By the way, congratulations. If the numbers are enclosed, could you please share more info about the exit of yours?
Yeah, sure. Actually, Udo Games is a good story for us because while we has not been a year when we invested, so it's a really quick exit for us. We sold our shares to Tailwords. Tailwords is another big PC companies in Turkey. So it's really good for us. Actually, when we decided to invest in the Udo Games, we liked the team because has been a good life in the gaming ecosystem. Probably they established in 2013, if I'm not wrong. So also their hyper casual team is very huge and they have a good know-how. So when we decided to invest, they planned about the casual part. They also established the casual team structure at the same time. And also they want to make self-publish. So it's a really good know-how and it's a really good opportunity because the gaming market can be really quick change. Mm-hmm. So they have 2 opportunities actually, hyper casual genres and the casual genres. And the publishing know-how, it's really important for the gaming studios. So if they want to exit, they should know the exit strategy, marketing strategy and publish strategy. So it's a very useful. Like that, I can't talk too much about the numbers.
No big deal at all.
Strategy like that, yeah.
Thank you so much for your initial comments. Gurcan, you mentioned a couple of clients trying to reach the governmental funds and perks. How was this year for your clients?
Yes. First of all, from the global perspective, as you know very well, because of the inflation rises, so central banks and governments increase the interest rates, and this is a traditional solution. If the interest rates high, the investment low. Actually, we experience this situation in Turkey because every day we look for, we search which company gaming company established, or which gaming company shutting down. Unfortunately, we couldn't see the last year's performance, because last year that it was amazing. Yes, still there are many different gaming companies are establishing because and yes, we can see the investments or the capital increase for this company. However, unfortunately, we couldn't see the last year's performance. But this year there is a dramatic change in the regulation. In Trade of Minister in Turkey has updated regulation for the incentives. This incentives actually since 2015 there is a regulation to support companies. Actually, every country and around the world has a incentive mechanism, incentive package, because every country supports the technology and innovation. But in Turkey, it's a kind of different, because Turkish government tries to support advertising and monetization. So this was very different. But of course, the regulation still immature. Some change are needed. But next year, I'm sure that I'm sure that there will be good news because a company around the world, create a game and publish the game, and CPI, CPM metrics are very important for them. If this metrics are not good, they should kill the game. But for the Turkey, if the company can refund some cost from the government, such metrics still tolerable. So next year, thanks to these incentives, I'm waiting a better result than this year. Actually, I hope we can see we can hear the good news.
Thank you so much. Ismet, when you're looking from 2022 to 2023, how do you see the future?
So, like, it's a very hard question, especially if you're working in a gaming space, right? I think it's matter of being adaptive, right? So you need to adapt to changes. So I have been in this industry many years. So every year something happened, right? Like, again, last year it was like iOS 14. Like 5 years ago, everybody talking about depreciation of cookies. Before that, there was something else. So every single year, we'll see another challenge, another change in either regulation or either core competency. So it's really hard to foresee what's going to be happening in the future. But what I can say is, if your team is good, if your team mixture is good, if your team is capable of being adaptive, and if your team is able to pivot things quickly, you will win the game. So as a trend, of course, there are some verticals that we are super interested in. First, hybrid genres, right? Because of the IDFA, because of the iOS 14, 15, whatever you call it, it's really hard to monetize your game purely on in-app purchase, right? So you need to learn how to combine in-app purchase with ads. So hybrid genres is one of the key pillars for us. Second, a strong meta-layered casual games. It's something that we are closely chasing. One of our successful companies is actually focusing on that genre. So, for example, if you're doing like match 3, merge, slot, whatever you call it, you need to combine strong core with a marketable meta. So that's another trend we are closely chasing up. We are super pessimistic about blockchain games. We are not investing on play to earn. We are not investing in crypto games. We are not doing it at all, and we are not see anywhere soon they're going to ramp up as it has predicted. But again, like there's a problem in terms of monetization. So people need to solve it, and I think the easy solution right now is to combining good in-app purchase strategy with a advertisement revenue model.
Will you be investing more or less this year?
So as a strategy, like every VC has a different point of view. Like right now, we used to write smaller checks. Mm-hmm. So our average, like last year, was approximately 500 for 50. Right now, we increase it, so we are writing checks approximately 750. So we are going to do less bets, but higher check size. So that would be. So we will be more selective, but big and bold. So that will be our approach.
That's cool. How about you? In 2023, how you see the markets? How are you going to react and adapt, hopefully?
Yeah, everything is very quickly changed, so it's really hard to say. But probably after this situation for the hyper casual problems, in Turkey, they have a lot of talent and a lot of studios right now. And also, generally, a lot of studios failed after this situation. So right now, we have a good talent for the gaming. So I think that this situation, it's a will be very useful for the biggest companies because the talent prices will be down. I think so. Everybody can hire a lot of good talent, and also Turkish market interested about European and the USA companies. We heard a lot of times a lot of different European and the USA companies hired in Turkey. So I think it's a really good opportunity because when the people work with the different companies in the world, around the world, so it's mean really good know-how, I think. So when these people come back again to Turkey and they establish their own companies or gaming studios, I think it will be going to really good. And also the hybrid casual part, I think also it's a really hard things because the not so different between the hyper casual and the hybrid casual games. But the sector needs a lot of differences. Actually, the casual and the mid-core part, I think it's really important. But the situation is a little bit different because the gaming studios need to invest too much time for these games, casual and the mid-core games. So always they need to make a plan B because if the game won't be success, it's probably so they need to plan B. If they make a good plan B, alternative plans, also they can going to do really good works. They can make a really successful things.
Hopefully.
Also, I want to add some couple of comments on the hyper casual side as well because I have been talking a lot of studios in here and because the nature of the conference there are a lot of hyper casual studios attended here, so I had a lot of chance to talk with them. So when people started to complain about what's happening in the hyper casual space, I hate it, right? Because the reality is earning money was so easy 2 years ago, right? Everybody get used to it. You're like doing a hyper casual game, putting on Facebook, 10 cents CPIs, you're a millionaire. It was so easy. Yeah. And you cannot expect things to go same way as usual. I'm not saying like Apple's situation is not challenging at all. It is challenging, right? But you cannot make claims like hyper casual that, casual gaming that, mobile gaming that. You cannot say that. No, it's not that. There are still a lot of companies doing really good. There's still a lot of companies earning a lot of money. Azure, Rolik Games, Voodoo, Supersonic. None of these companies are bankrupt. Of course, there's some consolidations. Of course, there's a high competition here, but it's not that. That, yes, there are a lot of companies is actually that because the main reason of it, there was a challenge and they couldn't cope with it. I had a hyper casual company in my portfolio as well, and they're struggling as well. But the answer is whether you can solve it or not. If you cannot solve a problem, you cannot blame the market, right? It's a little bit Turkish thing, by the way, but you cannot do it. It's, for example, you cannot blame like any kind of regulations happening in there. It's a business life, and you need to cope with it. You need to deal with it.
Do you see the lights at the end of the tunnel?
There were never darkness in the market, right? Like please look at top charts. There are still hyper casual games. There's still a lot of publisher publishing. Of course, it's not as usual as like last year because something changed, but it's adaptive, right? Just compare a hyper casual game in 2019 and here. You will see today's hyper casual games is much more complex and it's not a hyper as it used to be, but it's adaptation, it's progress, it's improvement. So you need to improve your way of working. If not, of course, everything is darkness for you.
Thank you so much. Gurcan, you mentioned a couple of regulation changes recently about the government funds and everything. Could you please elaborate more on that to make it more, let's say, easy to grasp for everyone?
Yes. Firstly, I would like to separate two sections. First, cash-based incentive. Cash-based incentive, I would like to mention. In this incentive, I would like to separate in four sections. Fun advertising, yes. As company in Turkey, or mobile game company in Turkey, approximately get refunds 60% of the total advertising costs, such as applying Google, Facebook, TikTok, etc. This is directly cashback sub incentive, and approximately $300,000 in a year for each game. It can can refund. Secondly, a gaming company, a mobile game company, as you know, must use some tools, advertising tools, such as Adjust, AppsWire, Sensor Tower, Mobile Action, Looker. There are many tools, and they need to use these tools. And the government pays back 60% of these expenditures. Thirdly, I would like to say this is a new incentive, software license, but this is a wide. There are many different software licenses, from the AWS to Unity, Maya, and Slack. A company should use this kind of tools, and the government also pays back 60% of this tools cost, this direct cost, cashback. And for some companies, some mobile gaming companies, sales, their sales should be made. Apple Store and Google Play. And App Store and Google Play takes a commission, 30% or 15%, as you know, and the government pays back half of this commission, up to $100,000. Also, there are many different small kind of incentives. The requirements are basic. You don't need any project. You don't need any different process. Just you have to establish a company in Turkey, and actually, maybe I will try to say that the ownership doesn't matter. Yeah, foreign investors are welcome. The expenditure should be paid by the company's bank account. This is a very traditional, classic process, and the companies can apply it. So there are not many different processes. But also, I would like to mention the different incentive, free zone, because companies do not know the free zone. Actually, when we say the free zone, everyone thinks that Dubai. But Turkey also has many free zone areas, so tax-free areas. And the cost of the free zone is very low, I can say, because when you want to establish a company in Dubai, you have to spend many costs for the Dubai. But Turkey, Istanbul free zone is available. What kind of advantage? The tax is free. I mean, zero tax, corporate tax, zero, and also personal income tax, zero. So this is a big advantage. If a company, a technology company, a gaming company, cannot go into technoparks, it's a good advantage, because technoparks have many rigid rules, kind of writing projects, camera controls, etc., entrance controls. So that's very bureaucratic also. But free zone, like name, free. Actually, you don't need to go to the your branch. So just it's a kind of virtual office, but you can reach the zero tax. But this is the tax-related incentive. As I mentioned before, cash-based also are very attractive, and I advise to companies to use this kind of incentive, because the government wants to support exports, because, as you know, Turkey government's macroeconomic policy depends on foreign income, foreign cash flow. So I advise the companies to use these incentives.
Thank you so much. From a venture capitalist point of view, how do you see government incentives? How do you see companies incorporating outside of Turkey? Do you make investments for those companies as well, or do you encourage such actions?
So yeah, incentive is really important, especially for a bootstrapping companies. It's really important. So It's really proud to see that Turkey is supporting this ecosystem. And like, to be honest, we have been investing all around the world. Like, we have 14 investments, 7 of them is in Turkey, 7 of them is outside from Turkey. We have investments from Singapore, Finland, the UK, United States, and what I can say is Turkey is one of the most supportive countries in the world. Said so, you should never rely on purely on investment, right? Because incentives is something that's on top of your business. So you always need to think yourself. First, you need to build a fundamental business. Your fundamental business needs to survive by its own, so that incentives should accelerate your growth. So that should be the way of looking for that one. So I think Gurcan said a really important thing, right? If you look 2 years ago, they were doing a game which is not profitable, but they're transforming that game profitable with government incentives. This is something that we don't like at all, because your game is not fundamentally sustainable. You're making it with the government's incentive, which may not be sustainable at all, because one year government can change the policy, which they're frequently doing it. So my perspective is incentives, super good to have. We always like to have it in their cash balance, but your pure business, your baseline business should have some fundamentals that they can survive without it. So that's our point of view for government incentives, to be honest.
Makes total sense. Saltukhan, I can give some spoilers since we work with flipping up some portfolio companies together, but how do you see those flip-ups and governmental incentives from a point of WePlay Ventures?
Yeah, actually, in the first day, we just invested in the Turkish company. But right now, we increase our region. Right now, we can invest in the Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and Turkey. So our area is the biggest right now. And the flip-up process important because when the pre-seed and seed stage, it's okay in Turkey. Because these numbers, the studios can raise these numbers in Turkey. But after the one level, when the valuation and the fundraising need growth, they can't raise these monies in Turkey. So they need to fill up because the other investors, the global investors, know that the United States legal structure or European legal structure. So they generally choose to these companies. So generally, reason flip-up reason is this. Also, we made a flip-up for the WePlay Ventures. First time WePlay Ventures, it's an anonym şirket in Turkey. But right now we flip up and we work as a BV company, in Dutch-based company right now. So it's a very useful for the global strategy and find the global investors and can make a co-invest opportunities. It's easier with this way.
Thank you. Please.
We don't like flip-ups, by the way.
Why?
We are not doing it. Like we want Turkish companies to be established in Turkey and to operate in Turkey as well. There are a couple of reasons. First, it's a really investor-friendly country. I would say, like, just look at Germany, right? It's insanely hard to invest a company.
Germany is like the monster in the game,
okay,
like the big boss.
Like let's look at another company. Okay. Like let's compare to France, right? Turkey is more investor-friendly. Let's look at UK. It's more. Of course, like United States. Okay, it's the most. But again, like Turkey is at a very very good place, and the cost structures is insanely good. Like Turkish companies has a really good cost structure. It's cost efficient. Of course, there are some challenges about currency, etc. But you can overcome it. There are good models to overcome it. So the main reason, I 100% agree the points that you mentioned, right? It's challenging. There are some challenges, but also there are some positive sides. First, it's your country. So there's like nationalist perspective about it. Second, cost structure is really good. Third, what I can say is it's more compliant, you know, like if you look exit perspective, we had a really good experience about exiting companies because like our LPs are the former investors of Product Games, which is one of the biggest exits happened in Turkey. Let's say that you have a branch in Estonia or Holland. They're looking your balance sheet, and when they see all of the employees are actually in Turkey, but only the headquarters in Estonia, it's questionable. It's not a very compliant. It's not illegal. It's not illegal, something like that, but it's questionable, which we don't like as a VC. So our point of view is, if you're earning money, you need to pay tax, of course, 100%. And again, if a company is actually operating in Turkey, it has to be stated in Turkey. And also, if you look at the track record, right? 5 years ago, you're 100% right. Like VCs, the global funds are so afraid to invest here. But if you look Dream, right? Got a huge investment. Look Spiky, huge investment. Like Librasoft, there are a lot of companies is actually getting funds from Turkey itself. And also the exits, right? Zynga acquired how many companies? Like Rolex, Gram, Pig, a lot of for example, Sci-Fi acquired Alictus, which was a Turkish company as well. So there are disadvantages, 100%, but I do believe it can be manageable.
I can agree with that totally. Gurcan, we talked lots about flip-ups. Imagine a company, a mobile gaming studio, flipping up to another jurisdiction like United States, UK, whatever. Are they still be eligible to have some incentives here, or if you have the ownership outside of Turkey, is it end of the game?
Sometimes some companies ask this question as they say that Turkish companies also can ask because we say that always your company's ownership doesn't matter. So you can still establish a company USA, and Turkish companies' ownership can belong to USA company. In this case, foreign investors can invest the US company because in Turkish company it's a kind of subsidiary of the US company. For example, we have some examples. I can say for App Samurai. App Samurai's head company is US company, but the governments want to see once the experts examine the website of the company, and the governments want to see that there is a headquarter called Istanbul, Ankara, whatever. Maybe this is a small change, but sometimes companies say that in the social media profile they would like to say we are US company. Sometimes they prefer this kind of change, but the government say you shouldn't say we are a US company, because I see that as a government say that I see you are a Turkish company and you never should say US company. Yeah, your ownership doesn't matter. You can dividends can go to the USA anyway. That doesn't matter. But when I look at your app store or website or sometimes domain information, I have to see the Turkey. So I can say a different. For example, SaaS products, not maybe mobile gaming product. Sometimes the sales can be made from the foreign countries, but the production and development are made from Turkey, and the Turkish company develop the products, and US company sells the product. This is okay. This is no problem. So everyone is okay. Everyone is okay, and the government says that's okay.
So we need made in Turkey labels everywhere if we're flipping up the company. It's quite tricky. Ismet, please.
Yeah, and also I need to say that, right? Turkey has a really good reputation in gaming space, right? Why you shouldn't use it, right? You should use it. It's gaming. Yeah, I cannot say
it's a definite go-to.
I don't know for other verticals, but gaming, yes.
Ismet, you just threw away a hard pill to swallow for everyone in this room. You said we don't invest in crypto and blockchain-related stuff.
Yeah.
Why not? And if you combine it with the latest news with FTX, it will be more fun for the moderator as well.
So I'm not against it, right? I used to have some investments in crypto space as well, which I completely lost it, but it's another story. So there's a good technology behind it, right? I do believe there's some good progress. It make money transfer accessible for everybody. All of the stuff is really good. The main reason why we are not investing is because our investment thesis as a gaming VC. Our investment thesis is two things: marketability and scalability. So we invest gaming startups which may have marketability, you can market it, and which may have scale, can be played billions of users or majority of your genre. So if I look at two criteria and compared what's happening in the blockchain, it's super niche. How many play to earn users right now in like 10 million, 15 million, 20 million? Hopefully 20 million, right? One of my studio companies like produced a hybrid casual game and they reached 3 million users like in one game, 3 months. So the scale is so low, like 20 million users versus 3 billion users. And I don't believe blockchain is solving any issues in gaming space right now. Maybe they can in the future, but right now they are not, because like look what they're offering, right? All like metaverse stuff. GTA 5, like I have been playing Grand Theft Auto many years, and it has all the same components, right? Like all NFT elements that you lock. I'm an old Night Online player. I have been trading my characters or items for many years. So
I made money off that as well.
So I think it's more on motivation, right? So if you put money as a core incentive on a game, players don't like it, right? Because we have whale players in the United States who is paying $200, $300 for an in-app purchase in a match 3 game. So you're offering them to earn $10 by their gaming experience, play to earn, whatever you call it. It's not a big incentive for us. So I don't think there's a product and market fit right now. Maybe it can be changed in the future, but that's the main reason why we are not investing. I'm not saying we're against it. It's not something like that. I do believe there could be a good use cases of blockchain. I think there's a good technology behind it, and it could be good implementations on the gaming space as well. But right now, it's not matching our core criteria. That's why we haven't invested in yet. I don't know what's going to be happening in next year or 2 years later. We'll see about it. For example, first batch, right? It was a really good project. So we could have investment. Of course, eventually we didn't it, but yeah, there are good projects happening.
It's never too late. We can always welcome you guys. How do you see Web3 gaming companies?
Actually, it's the community part. It's 100%. It's correct, because it's a low community, 10 million, 15 million. It's a low numbers in the gaming sector. But I think the blockchain and Web3 should not be a main project, because people don't want to play just earn money or earn token. Also, people want to have a fun when playing this game. So this is a big misunderstandable thing, I think, because if the people want to play this game, and after that the studio can earn money. Actually, the blockchain part, tokenomics, I think it's a different business model. So if the studios use this bot,
You're out. So you can use the other one.
So yeah, if they use this bot business model, I mean, if they can use the token part and also the normal in a purchase or ad revenue part, and it means they can reach a lot of players, a lot of users. If they can use this model, I think it can be more potential for the success. So I think the most important part for this, in my perspective.
I think that's a really good comment on here, right? So putting the clients, customers, players first, right? And I faced some of the pitch decks. So the deck says we will be gamer focused casual Web3 company. So that was written in their deck. Okay. So I asked them what the gamer wants. They want to have good casual game. Okay, good. They want to play a good casual game which don't have any Web3 component. So why you're adding it? So you're telling me that I'm going to focusing on game and I will add a Web3 element. Okay, that's good. And you're saying me that you're going to be player centric. Okay, that's good. And I'm asking you, does player want it? does a 45-year-old female lady located in the United States wants to connect her MetaMask into their casual puzzle game and earn, let's say, that Royal Match coin and take it, transfer that tokens into Binance and sell and earn Tether and like, is it something
Then
that they're
convert
not?
into
No,
USD?
they're not. So I think that's really important, and I think that's why like NFT can be aspect for it. But there's a serious thinking behind it when you're adding a Web3 component in your game, and like you need to stand your word and you need to build something actually matters for a player itself. So I think that's really critical, and that's probably maybe AAA games will be a good use case for blockchain. We'll see about it.
Let's wait for the Grand Theft Auto 5. Gurcan, I can have your closing remarks before the questions from the audience. Would you like to add something before we leave
Just
the place?
maybe I can share about the my additional incentive for Web3 companies.
Please do.
Yes, there is some from the April, since the April, sorry, there is an additional incentive called Metaverse and NFT integration.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yes, yes,
That's quite cool.
yes. Now we are talking to Retic, one of the integration companies. That's you know some games I think can be played both mobile and Web3, but
Exactly.
it needs integration. So if a company wants, gaming companies cannot do integration itself because it's not expertise. This is a different area. But if it wants to integrate and if it wants to outsource this service, maybe with a tool, maybe with a consultancy, I don't know, the government also pays back 50% of this cost. Actually, I agree with Ismet because Web3 itself doesn't have required scalability and number of players, but a kind of collaboration with web and mobile game, maybe we can see the more players in the ecosystem. So government may help this improvement.
It's good. I wasn't aware of that. It's quite good. Saltukhan, any closing remarks before Q&A?
Actually, not right now.
Thank you so much.
No, for me.
Thank you. So we have 15 more minutes for your questions, everyone. If you'd like to ask anything, I can just shift it to the speakers as well. So thanks everyone for being here today.
It's a
It was a
pleasure.
lovely panel.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you. Cheers.